But you know the one where your butt shows on the back?
Wait,
but
so he's like Michael Myers?
No, he decided to wear it like, like not with the butt part on this side. He decided to wear it like a jacket.
Hey everybody, you're listening to God Spice with Greg and Kirti.
Greg.
Yes, my lovely Kirti.
I'm a little sad.
Why are you sad?
Because I heard we have to go back to the office.
Who's going back to the office? What idiotic company is sending their people back to the office full time?
Well, look.
Or multiple?
I think like it depends on what you do.
Well, yes,
obviously,
of course.
If you're like
if you're a cashier,
correct.
If you're milking a cow, if you're a cashier, someone who has some human transaction, you would probably have to be there in order for that to take place.
True. But
even that's becoming automated, it seems these days.
I don't make cheese and I don't build things with my hands.
But you've been milked.
No, I have certainly, yeah. We don't talk about those days. My sister and I reminisce, commiserate.
Oh, I see.
About those experiences. Because no woman wants to be feeling left like a cow.
Well, what about that movie we were watching one day and she was still breastfeeding and the kids, was that Grown Ups and she's still breastfeeding the kid? And
Breasting something.
Isn't she breastfeeding the kid till like he's in his teens or like, I don't know,
what
double
show
digits?
was that?
It was a movie. I think, wasn't it Grown Ups or one of those movies where she's like still breastfeeding? It was really weird.
Oh,
is Kevin James's name? Like he was the husband, and I forget who
I think I shut this out of my mind.
You might have.
Just like the character in Game of Thrones.
Wait, which one?
Do you remember the young king? He was like breastfeeding from his mother.
Oh,
he's like 12 years old.
So not only that, weren't we watching that other show about that other betrothed prince who ends up being with that older woman? He marries his wife, then he's with the older woman.
Yeah. It was
and all of a sudden you catch them in bed and he's
Serpent Queen.
Yes. And wasn't he like simulating breastfeeding with her as well?
Something.
Because it wasn't sexual or sensual.
No, I think it was sexual, but we initially
very motherly. I don't know. Some people are into that.
We just did not know what was happening there.
Oedipus complex?
It was just like, you should not be feeding off your mom's boobs after 9 months complex.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be doing it when you're in your 20s.
Once the baby gets teeth, it's wrong. I
thought that's when it becomes interesting.
No. Oh my God. Horrible.
It's like little baby jaws.
Even one little tooth poking out. It's like, I lost my boob.
It's like the Meg Part 2, which is coming out soon, right?
No. I think there's many
little
Megs.
Jason Statham right there.
Ew.
Or the Meg.
Okay, this is a really bad nightmare that you're creating for me.
Why is it a bad nightmare?
And I have no idea how we went from me being sad about going back into the office physically to like suddenly us talking about breastfeeding.
Well, maybe because now they have breastfeeding stations in offices, right?
They did not
in
have
airports,
that.
they do.
They did not have that 15 years ago when I needed it.
Yeah, no, it's a new phenomenon. So
I actually had to breast pump out of my dean's office when I was in business school.
Oh, interesting. Out of your dean's office.
Yeah, because
did you leave, like, instead of leaving a teacher an apple, would you leave him a glass of milk?
Ew. Oh my gosh. That is so gross.
Why is that gross? You left it's you're leaving him a treat.
Oh my goodness. No, they didn't have
no wonder why you got straight A's.
Milk station accommodations for women who became mothers in grad school. So I was given a lovely office where I had to pull the blinds down and had total privacy to pump the milk while I was a student.
I see. And there were no like cameras going on and people watching?
I hope not.
I hope not either. That would be pretty bad.
Although when I was working at Citibank had accommodations. They had a mother room. After that, I don't remember any other company having a mother room.
Oh, over at Citi. And they were over on, what's that?
Long Island City.
Long Island City. I was about to say Long Beach Island because that's stuck in my head from friends that are there
That's
right now.
because you want to be there mentally.
Yeah, mentally. It'd be
and
nice
physically.
to be there. Yeah, it would be nice to be there right now.
Like if someone wants to take us to Long Beach whatever it's called, island in the Jersey Shore, which I have admittedly only been to like once or twice, and it was for like a
I think I
wedding
was
and
there
like
years
a
ago.
bridal shower.
Yeah, been to several spots on the Jersey Shore, but I think I was there years ago. I forgot.
I think I'm scared of the water lice that's prevalent in the Jersey Shore ocean.
Yeah, what do you think is causing that? That's quite interesting because you go over to, I don't think it's over in the Hamptons or in the Jones Beach, Robert Moses area.
No,
but
I guess like the way the water sits between land masses over there.
Yeah.
And remember from my parents' house, we can actually see the Jersey Shore.
I'm going to blame it on Staten Island because Staten Island is right in the way. Staten Island is this island right in the way, and then the shore is right there. So it's
very
probably
funny.
What do you mean very funny?
That is very, very
Where else
convenient.
could it be coming from? Could it be coming from Jersey? Is
It
it
coming from Long Island Sound, which is in Connecticut.
Long Island Sound?
actually.
That's too far away.
It's probably coming from
That would have to go. Long Island Sound.
Haven.
It would have to go out
It's probably
of.
coming from Gross Haven.
Hey, what's Haven? What's Haven?
New Haven.
No, New Haven. Gross Haven. I thought you were gonna say Bellhaven, which is like a really ritzy area in Greenwich. So, which is kind of funny how they put the really ritzy area right near like the waste station.
That sounds disgusting,
Yeah,
and
that's
I don't ever want to go there.
Called Grass Island is what it's called. Anyone from Connecticut would know what Grass Island is. It's
Okay.
right near actually where the ferries are. You can go out to islands out of Greenwich and everything. There's a yacht club right there too.
So you guys throw your garbage
Multiple
and
yacht clubs.
socialize in the same like neighborhood?
I don't. It sometimes happens. It's you put the you got. It's called gentrification.
I think this conversation's taken a really bad turn, Greg.
It maybe has. The funny thing is, no one lives over in Grass Island. It's just kind of a facility.
But
area.
wait, I mean, going back to our topic, aren't you like a little perturbed by like the lack of modernity, or I don't even know how to speak anymore, but like the lack of modern nature of these companies that they think you're only like a viable like contributing employee if you're physically present Monday through Friday?
It is. I say in this day and age, it's an antiquated mindset. I think it's a form of control. Really,
It's totally
is what
control.
it
It's
is.
like Big Brother.
It's Big Brother.
As it is, they have like control over our phones and make us
You know.
put VPN on our personal devices. We have like no privacy of materials when we're in that situation. We have no privacy of any of our email communications or websites we visit from like the work laptops.
Yeah, totally.
So they already see everything. And then
very
now,
Big
like
Brother.
through MSN, which I also kind of measure as well,
Yeah.
I can see the
They're
productivity
like
of
monitoring
myself.
like how often people are on their machines.
Yeah,
anyway.
they're like
So
we're
it's-
getting reports of how
Yes.
productive and what we were doing with our time on the device was every single day. So how much is it enough?
Well, so we can put it this way. So I do think it's an antiquated mindset, but there are some, there's a thought process as well. It's always good to get together, I think, every once in a while there's some human chemistry that can happen. Like being musicians, it's better to practice in a room than it is virtually. One, because they haven't actually developed like the best software to do that, so it all syncs up properly. But the way I'm looking at companies demanding people come back in versus evolving with the times. One, we've managed global teams for years, so I'm just used to conducting business virtually with teams that are high performing anyway, where we're just not in the same location and at different time zones as well, like just like you are, right? You're used to that. But then I was thinking about it recently where back in the day, pre-Palm Pilot, pre-BlackBerry, and you had a desktop, like before laptops even existed.
Yeah.
You went to the office and you worked 9 to 5. Then all of a sudden, with the advent of the BlackBerry, you started to work when you got up in the morning, which could be 5, 6, 7 a.m. People are answering emails. Then you leave the office. Then you're doing work, on your commute home.
Wait, Greg, I think you're starting to really age yourself. You're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about the Palm Pilot, and now we're going to the BlackBerry.
Yeah, yeah,
we're getting a lesson in mobile devices, guys.
We are. And then I'm not even talking about the two ways that all the rappers used to use back in the day in the music industry. We had two
I
ways.
use that too.
So with the big ones, the big Motorola ones,
Yes.
they were hot. And so then people, because you took home your laptop, now you're working, a lot of people are working till 9, 10, 12 in the evening. So your business day, your work day sometimes starts at 5 a.m., may end at 11 or 12 p.m. So I think if companies are forcing people back into the office, then we should just resort to the way that we used to work, which is fine.
Purely
We're gonna
9 to 5.
9 to 5, bam, that's it. We're not going to do anything pre or post and
Right.
call it a day and see what the level of productivity is.
It's interesting you say that because I do remember that type of work ethic and culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, especially, this must be really hard on the modern younger generation of people who maybe started working during COVID, and it was a different kind of situation in which to join a company. And I think there were probably a coin toss in terms of those who were probably like, I wish I could go to the office and I could meet someone and I could like have conversation with people and water cooler talk and whatnot and make friends, versus those of us who already went through that experience 20 years ago, even 15 years ago. And we kind of have done our time and we have found ways to be super productive, multitask, get loads of work done, as well as manage other individuals without having to always have FaceTime.
I agree.
And the thing is, like, for me, my experience in the last like several years has been interesting in terms of, I at first thought, oh my God, this is daunting. How am I going to manage a team of people around the world? And I physically need to now work multiple time zones. Guess what? Even before COVID,
Yes.
I learned how to use Zoom. I learned how to like get on the phone, communicate, text, do things. And in fact, each time that I've been able to do this in my experience, I've seen upwards of more than 25% in productivity and output compared to the traditional kind of structure and setup. And frankly, even the people that have gotten to work with me, as long as you like are there, you deliver quality during the work hours when we're supposed to, and you need to like manage, I don't know, going to your kid's soccer game, or you need to study for that class that you're really dying to take and become an expert in. I have this motto of like, work hard, play hard. As long as you deliver quality, I don't really care when the frick you do it.
Yeah, just get it done. Like a perfect example. What was I doing earlier today? So I was slacking the CEO of the business that I work for.
I was going to say, you were sitting in your underwear eating a croissant.
Well, yes, I was doing that as well. Early Saturday morning treat with coffee. And so, but I was coming up with a new strategy for the business, for a campaign, but then also how we should develop a new potential product. And so I was thinking about it, and then I was slacking with him, and it's a Saturday. But imagine just going back to saying, if companies are going to be strict about just, you have to be in the office, then maybe we shouldn't be working outside of hours.
Yeah.
But I'm not against people who want to go into the office. Offer an office if that's what people want to do, or people if they want to go in.
A place
totally
of
cool.
congregation.
Yeah, a place of congregation.
Interaction.
And, when we were younger in our career, that's, was a big part of, say, a social life, especially going out afterwards. So I completely understand if generations want to go in and socialize and do all that. I'm not against that. But there's a difference between voluntarily going into the office versus being just forced back in for the sake of being forced back in because a company wants to control an individual, especially when companies are showing great productivity and growth without forcing people back into the office.
You won't be shocked by the companies in the latest news headlines that are enforcing not only like 3 days back in the office for just no reason. And when you go in, you may not even see your team there, by the way. But there are people who are also being asked to go back for 5 days a week. These companies are, I want you to guess.
Well, there's just news that came out, was it yesterday? Goldman Sachs, I think it was, pressuring people to come back in 5 days a week.
Yep.
Unlike another company that...
But am I really shocked?
Yeah.
It is Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, it's kind of old school in their
Living up to their
process.
reputation.
Oh, what's their reputation?
They work their employees, right, to the bone. So it is like, you kind of know what you're joining when you join Goldman.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay. But then there's another company who is performing quite well, who's developed a new methodology of bringing people in, which is Smuckers, right?
That's right. They are doing something really interesting, and one that I would actually be really kind of open to in terms of how I'm thinking about organizing my marketing organization globally. And it is important from a creative standpoint that we do have like moments of personal interaction so that we can really be creative off of one another.
Sure. Yeah.
And I really think it's interesting what Smuckers is doing in terms of their kind of cadence.
Yes. Yeah. What is it? It's they want people in the office 6 days every month, and those days are I guess I forget what they're calling them, but we'll call them community days in the office, where I guess a large percentage, 70 to 80% of the people at the company are there on those days. I think they're for strategic planning purposes, but those days are planned.
It's almost like offsite.
It's like an offsite, but they're planned a year in advance. So you can plan. So I think I was reading that there are people, where are they? Are they located in they're not in Ohio. Where are they?
They're definitely flyover.
They fly over. So there are people commuting from other states, just for those few days to be there. And so it's kind of interesting because I think what companies need to do is, especially to compete in this day and age, companies need to evolve. Technology evolves. People are utilizing Chat GPT and how we're going to market with ideas and writing and all these things. I think companies need to evolve with the times because companies are global businesses now, right?
Yep.
And if you really want the best talent for a particular position, that talent may not necessarily reside in the same city in which your company is located, and they may not be able to transfer because they may be tied down for different reasons.
I'm also seeing like job opportunities in general. There's been like just a spike in opportunities in places that I will never move, like with all due respect, like Texas.
Why would you not move to Texas? There's some great spots in Texas. Austin, Texas is fun. You got Dallas, Texas.
I know, it's really
you can go
lovely.
to Houston,
it's
check
very
out some
lovely
baseball.
to visit. I think it's really great to visit.
Oh, it is. Just to visit.
Yeah, I can't live there.
Why would you not want to live in Texas?
Because it's too Republican for me.
Why is it too Republican? What's that even mean?
I'm not even into politics, but the politics there scares me.
Oh, really? Why don't you go down there and try to change the politics? Be like this Indian chick that comes down and be like, yo, I'm going to rule with an iron fist.
No.
No?
I am not doing that.
Why not?
Because I am not
Are
interested.
you worried about being imperialized?
I'm worried about being imperialized.
It could happen. It is Texas.
I'm also worried about the crazy people.
You can open up.
You
I believe you can still carry
Why are there so
openly
many crazy
there too.
people in this country lately?
There's a lot of crazy people in the world, but there's a lot of turmoil
I think they're
here.
very specifically in
There's
the U.S.
unrest. There's unrest here.
It's like,
It's unfortunate.
do you know what happened to me yesterday? Speaking of crazy, I went out yesterday to run an errand, in our neighborhood, which, by the way, is relatively safe. And it is not you don't walk out in this neighborhood and say, I'm scared of the outside.
Well, also New York City is a safe city based, per capita, right? When you look at it, it's an extremely safe city to be in.
90% of
I feel very
cities
safe
visit.
being here.
Yes. But I was walking down broad daylight,
Mm-hmm.
totally would not be suspicious of characters on the street.
Yep.
And
this was what time? Early afternoon, morning?
it's 12:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, so it's
It's not even it's
midday.
broad daylight,
Mm-hmm.
people on the street. And I'm walking towards our apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and I swear I saw an insane asylum man escapee on the street.
Was that because you stopped in the Gray's Papaya again?
No, he was really,
That's why you can't go to Gray's Papaya.
he was really scary. He had long hair like the Geico caveman, and he had a big beard that came down like Moses. And
was he parting the seas? Was he parting the cars for you?
He had on no shirt.
Oh,
But
this is
from
getting
a
better.
distance, I could see.
He had no shirt on.
I could see dirt prints on his chest.
Whoa.
But then he had on the hospital gown. But the one where your butt shows on the back.
Wait,
but he
so he's Michael Myers?
No, he decided to wear it not with the butt part on this side. He decided to wear it like a jacket.
Oh, so the tie was in front.
Yeah, but it was not tied.
Oh.
It was flowing in the wind. And then he had on
Maybe it was Tom Hanks auditioning for a new part, kind of
know.
like the way he looked
He had on
in
surgery
in
pants,
Castaway.
scrubs,
Oh,
scrub
yeah.
bottom, hospital pants. And then he had on
interesting.
white Crocs, like Dr. Crocs that from a
So
hospital.
he's a mental hospital escapee who killed the doctor, killed the nurses, and it's literally one of those movies that he broke
literally
out.
did all these things. I'm 100% sure.
All because he had in his head he wanted to chase you.
No, he saw me. We were walking.
He's been dreaming about you.
Ew, horrible. He was walking towards me,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw this man in the very detailed description that I just gave.
Oh, interesting.
And
okay.
I didn't
in your
wanna make-
peripheral, or was it straight on?
Straight on.
Okay, because you didn't look. You can't look. You can't make eye to eye with people like that because they will come and kill you.
No, I know.
Like New York City, sometimes you just have to wear your
So
sunglasses and just look straight ahead.
I purposely was I'm not going to make eye contact, but I could see him, and he suddenly makes a laser path at me.
Oh, interesting.
And he
like a beeline.
Yeah, and he literally picked up his speed and started walking towards me much faster.
Huh.
And I was like, is he walking towards me, or is there something else
Maybe he wanted to ask you out for coffee.
behind me? And there was nothing else behind me. And I I swear to God, I was actually legitimately scared.
Okay.
And I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I can't walk towards that street where I was originally going and make a right. So let me just.
I like the fact that you didn't reach out to me at all while this is happening.
You were busy.
Well, I'm always busy.
You were on the phone with this guy, CJ.
Well, sometimes I
You were CJing.
Oh, CJ.
Which all of you will find out about in another episode.
Yes.
But you would not believe it, babe. Like I was petrified. I'm like walking, I do like a quick turn on the next street, and I'm like, maybe I lost him. And I suddenly like I took my phone and I put on like the camera just to look behind me, and he was suddenly on this cross street.
That's scary.
Again, coming at me like a bullet train.
You need to be like Predator from the movie Commando, where you're all of a sudden you just become invisible. You have this invisible armor. Yeah,
I wish. And then I was like, why isn't there anyone on this freaking cross street when it normally has people? And I'm walking and I'm walking and I'm walking. And finally I see like a normal looking man.
The street gets tighter and tighter and tighter. It gets darker and darker and darker. Okay.
We're writing a screenplay for our daughter.
I know, it's great.
She can like turn this into a movie.
Yeah.
A short message for Karen.
Yes.
So we're walking down the street.
Starring Ava, the escapee.
She's probably the mental patient. She always plays one in her pieces. So wrong. She could play the damsel.
They're like the dynamic duo.
Yeah. And so we are like on this street. I see this man and I'm like, excuse me, sir. And he looks at me. I'm like, is there a crazy looking person like walking very aggressively in my direction? And he looks and he goes, yeah, it is. I would pick up your speed.
Knowing you were probably like, is this a crazy person right here looking at me?
No, I wasn't.
That's what we were doing.
That's messed up.
No, it's like, is this person crazy? Should I be getting away from this person? You're like, what? It's like a movie. It's like when the damsel in distress comes up, or like someone comes up to the cop or the hero, and you have the antagonist over there, and like, that person over there is looking at you. It's like, now they know that they're on our case and they're looking at us.
Are you done talking?
I don't know.
Are you done?
I'm trying.
You're interrupting my street scary story.
How am I interrupting? I'm augmenting it.
No, you're interrupting the flow.
No, I'm just trying to get you to the point and understand what the story is here, because
we will talk about this later.
We will talk about this later. I feel there's gaps in the story.
No, there's no gaps.
Oh, there's gaps. I'm filling in those gaps.
The creep was suddenly like really getting on my like into my speed level here.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to look like I'm running away from him. So then when he like a tree was sort of blocking his view and I could tell, I literally like bolted. I ran here like there was like as if there was a crazy man.
So essentially, talking about movies, you applied the tactic from the movie we just recently saw, Cocaine Bear. They start running away from the bear and they climb up the trees. And then the bear climbs up the tree after them.
He so get this. I get to our building and I could see him get to the intersection where I did my quick escape from him. And he stood there and he looked left and right. And then he suddenly just started then going right and going uptown.
Oh, that's good. He went away.
He's scary.
So basically what you were doing is you were like one of those scary movies.
I almost died.
You didn't almost die. You're fine.
No, he was petrifying.
There's cops all over the place. There's
I don't
no
even
cop.
remember. I think he could have been holding a knife. I don't even remember.
He holding a knife.
I don't remember.
Next time we found out. Wait, it wasn't a knife. It was a rope and a gun, and he was holding something. It was probably a hot dog from Gray's
and there
Papaya.
Was like convenient wind blowing his cape and blowing his hair.
Maybe he was Batman, or maybe he was like an X-Man character.
No, he was not an X-Man.
You want to? But the way you just talked about that. Oh, I looked back. That's like one of those movies where there's a scary situation, you hear ruckus, and then the person goes over, hello, is everything okay? And like you walk up, hello, and all of a sudden like the murderer comes out and just gets you. It's like, hello, just get away from the person. Don't go back and look back.
You do things that are not correct in a petrifying moment, Greg.
Oh, I see. A petrifying moment.
I was petrified.
So you were frozen?
Practically.
I see.
But I was in movement. I was moving petrified.
So how do you know that he wasn't so... Basically, you said he looked like one of the Geico cavemen. Which I was just reading. They were talking about like the 50 worst decisions made in like TV network history, and one of them that was
show?
listed that they came up with a show with the Geico cavemen.
God, terrible! I
think it was
remember that.
Yeah, it was like I don't know. I guess a sitcom of sorts. Apparently, yes. So I guess apparently they had their own show for a little while.
Well, I do think that
Didn't Geico get in trouble for that? Like, because cavemen, they like were able to deduce were actually quite astute and intelligent beings.
Are you saying cavemen came to they went after Geico and filed a lawsuit?
I think it was cavemen that filed a lawsuit against Gecko saying we're smarter than you're depicting us to be. Even a caveman sort of can do it. That's how easy it is to get Geico insurance. So I think they were sued.
I think this is when I appreciate how special
that was
you are.
affirmative action.
I think I'm appreciating how special you are, Greg.
I am special. I'm awesome.
So special. Well, look,
I'm like a TV special.
we never finished going through the list. I'm a little surprised by some of these companies that are a part of this. I'm going to make you come back to the office.
Mm-hmm.
I feel very lucky that the company I currently work at is very much all about this kind of, we call it neo work kind of life. Yeah, it's it
like
is
Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah, doesn't matter where you are in the world, we can always find a way to be connected and work together.
Sure.
And it's very modern. And we do have people all around the world working at our company.
What makes it modern?
The fact that we don't force people to go back to the office.
Oh, but you guys use holograms, right? Isn't that what makes it modern? So it feels like people are in the room.
We're going to have
it's augmented reality.
We're going to have mixed reality experiences coming into the office soon.
But you have to have mixed reality. It's great. Everyone all of a sudden is in your living rorum just chilling out, just doing their thing, and you guys are brainstorming.
Yes, yeah.
I see.
Exactly.
Creating
That's what I'm doing on a daily basis.
Yes. It's basically, it's like with Web3, it is bringing on a whole new work and living arrangement for people.
Yeah.
We're turning into Wall-E.
So I feel like we can't just pick on Goldman Sachs for this.
Well, we're not picking on Goldman Sachs. We're calling them out for a decision that may not be it's questionable because in an era where companies are trying to take care of their employees, bolster their HR department, so there's more training, learning sessions, and just everything to help humanity while working. We'll just say it just seems to go against that form of mantra.
It does. There are also other interesting companies on there like Starbucks, Apple, Google.
Starbucks is forcing people in?
Yeah. I mean, outside of their actual physical locations.
Are they just upset because you have Gregory's Coffee and all these other coffee places that have come out that have grown exponentially?
I like how you point out Gregory's Coffee.
Hey, well, why wouldn't I point out Gregory's Coffee? It's hello. It's someone stole my name and they're using it in a brand. It's
and your likeness.
Huh?
When you wear glasses?
I know. I know they took my likeness.
Actually looks
I have to speak with them. I'm still awaiting a royalty check.
We gotta go after them.
I know. Just where's I need a monthly check, at least a quarterly check, or something to come in from the mail. They've actually grown quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
There's Pete's Coffee, all these other coffee companies.
I just think it's just interesting, especially when I hear tech companies outside of where they're actually building the technology, and obviously you should. It's a role you have where you're physically needing to touch and feel and build a product. I think something like the other functions and forcing them to be present is just a little bit I thought you guys were supposed to be modern and leading the kind of path for a new way.
Yeah, totally. To work. Well, if you think about it also, I mean, take a sales function, right? They're constantly entertaining clients. They're out. They're working weekends. They're working late nights, up early mornings. Do they really need to be in the office all the time? No. Right? Because they should be out of the office, actually, most of the time. And then a marketing function, especially if you're a global organization, your team's globally. I remember when I was with a firm during the pandemic, and then we were coming out of the pandemic, and I went into the office one day, and it was pretty much empty because people hadn't gone in yet. But it was an office environment where we had 0 offices, right? So it was all about just being on one floor. And it was just so quiet. I felt like I was just not productive at all because I don't feel comfortable when the whole world can just hear my conversations. And half of them are private anyway. So I'm spending time in a private office, FaceTiming, and not even FaceTiming, excuse me, Teamsing, team members from across the world. So
then
I went into the office.
Battle of like who gets the conference rooms, and you have to book them in advance, and how long are they going to be in there?
I used to spend so much time, like my team and I spend so much time trying to find conference rooms. And then back to that day. So I went into the office, spent 90% of the day in a conference room, because what I was talking about are things that people shouldn't be hearing across the organization, because we're talking about financials and numbers.
It's very top secret.
Very top secret. And then spent 90% of my day in the conference room, and not even in-person meetings in the conference room, on Teams with everyone else that wasn't in the office. So it was a waste of a day of being in the office that actually wasn't even as productive if I had just stayed home and gotten work done.
So Greg, you know how you were just saying like the kind of type of functions that need to be in the office versus not be in the office, and really it's surprising, right? Like whether it's a Starbucks or Apple or Tesla and all these companies, the ones that aren't necessarily touching the products are also being asked to come back into the office full time. I also kind of like correlate some of that also with, I don't know, I have this theory of certain standards that we all have to live to as, functional professionals. I hate the word white collar and blue collar. I hate those terms. But I want to just say people who work in an office environment, there's a certain decorum of which we need to, kind of live by, work by, be respectful of.
Live by the company handbook.
Correct.
Is what it is.
Correct.
Essentially.
So I have this like kind of perspective in terms of just looking at even our current political environment in this country. And no, we're not a podcast that focuses on politics. But
it's kind of an interesting topic.
Ignore the impact that politics is having on kind of social norms and behaviors.
Yeah, because if you think about it, I mean, over the course of several years, since the advent of Twitter, there have been CEOs and other senior executives that may have tweeted something inappropriate, and then they were let go within 24 hours of that organization.
Yes.
But then we now have elected officials across the board
that can lie,
cheat, steal,
engage with prostitutes,
and just spout anything that they want to.
But they get to keep their job.
And it's the norm.
But they get to keep their job.
They get to keep their job, and it's the norm.
Like, I'm sorry, but if we kind of applied the same standards that we have to adhere to as corporate employees, whether it's a startup, whether it is large, middle, small, there are guardrails in which we have to live and be ruled by.
Yes.
And our entire career could be over like that.
In an instant. And in fact, when you're working for a corporate organization, if you're just accused of something, you could be instantly gone before it's even proven whether or not you're guilty or innocent. You're just gone, right?
Right.
Versus take the other side, again, whether you're an elected politician or others.
Or appointed.
Or whatever it happens to be, I remember actually, I felt like years ago, if someone did something wrong, they would resign. But I feel that that's just not the case anymore. They just continue to do more wrongdoing.
Yep.
And then they create excuses for it and just keep going on and on and on. And they've actually created a norm where ethics are not true ethics anymore on an appointed or elected capacity. It's you just do what you want. Which is so ridiculous. Which is ridiculous.
Which is like
it's a double standard. It's a complete double standard.
Why is there a double standard allowed for people who, by the way, can control our economy? They can control access to healthcare. They can control access to even how the GDP ends up functioning.
They're making laws. They are lawmakers.
They control our environment. They control everything, and
they control the global economy.
And they have no rules
There's
of
no
which
rules
they are held accountable
of ethics,
to.
Decorum. We have now Supreme Justices that are under ethics, I don't want to call them violations, but under ethics scrutiny, review for how they're acting. It's I don't get it. I don't get it.
We are not even allowed to accept more than whatever, $150 gift, right? Oh, depending on what type of company you're
talking about that, yes. I mean, just the bribery training that we go through, especially being in financial services.
It is ridiculous.
It's all about, if did someone...
But it's for the good.
It's for the good. It's for the good of the business,
so
100%.
My question is, could
you ever be taken away on like a lavish $100,000 vacation over the course of like 4 days?
No, but I'd love to be.
Yes. We would love to be. And under God's Spice, we could be, just not at any of the corporate organizations that we're with. Yes.
But no, I mean, look, I just
And we can just call it advertising. We can feature you on our pod.
All right. We don't break any rules. I will say, though, I think this idea of reality versus the artificial content that we are served up from the media and these clowns in the public eye, I think is going to be really bad for our children. Like, that's where my head is at. Like, you know, I'm old or getting old. I have whatever years left. But what is this country going to be like in the next 10, 15 years if this continues?
Well, it's either going to get worse or it's going to get better or it's going to come to a head and something's going to happen. So who knows what's going to happen? So for our children, by the time they're our age, it could potentially be better or it could potentially be worse. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen and how it's going to be level set or corrected.
But
it needs to be course corrected. It's a course correction.
In the meantime, I have a theory. I think today's propaganda will be our societal killer. I think it's going to remove all of the beauty that this country has nurtured over the last 200 years.
But I will say propaganda has always been there, right?
Of course it's always been there. But at this extreme level, and because we have so many mediums in which people can like obtain information, it just changes the speed and scale at which it can penetrate a market.
And all the different mediums and speed and scale, and it's not just even human to human anymore, right? You can just, people are writing, code and there are bots delivering information.
We have teenagers.
Yeah,
we have teenagers.
We do.
And one of our teens said to me, well, I think it's really problematic. Fine, this one party is doing crazy things, but then the existing party, like, what have they even done for us? And it's because she's not getting information in an equal fashion.
The full picture.
And I had to explain to her, like, you need to go to these sources to find out, like, what has actually been accomplished by different presidents or different governors or different, whatever. And she was just like, oh, like, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's always good to get kind of your news from multiple sources. Obviously, they're definitely influenced,
and it's so important that we actually keep this in mind. And by no means are we a very political family.
Yeah,
and
we're not.
We don't really engage in politics per se, but we care about policies that are going to impact our kids,
of course, and us,
and
just humans in general.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, like, along with like politicians being totally crazy, and us like now having a president who has like a mugshot, and he's
ex-president, twice impeached,
twice impeached ex-president,
and has sexually harassed others.
Yes. To me, it's very interesting.
Oh, we also forgot four indictments. Indicted 4 times. Was it 91 counts?
91 counts.
Yeah, something of that nature. Yes.
For MSNBC News, go to MSNBC or your local news source. But but my thing is,
and for Fox lovers, you can go to Fox News.
Yes.
But you probably won't hear that he's got 91 counts and 4 indictments. It's that he's now, considered gangsta.
Yes. Well, I was going to say, like, his mugshot cannot be held comparable to rap singers. And you've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Your thing about rap artists, doesn't matter their creed, color, race.
Yes.
Just the idea of rock stars and rap artists and whatnot. They kind of go to prison or they get arrested.
Well, sometimes, it
doesn't hurt their
hurt their career. Yeah, there's been, was it like Lil Wayne and I was telling you Shine. I remember when Shine went to jail, he went to jail for packing heat, or he took the rap for, I think, Puffy back at a club when like a gunshot went off, and it's still unclear, was it Puffy's gun, was it Shine, or Shine went down for him? I forget exactly what.
Gossip.
Yeah, there's like gossip, and I don't.
Is this when you used to be named Payroll?
When I was Payroll, people still call me Payroll. They still call me Payroll.
Yeah,
the rappers call me Payroll.
Greg has a hip hop name.
Yeah, I do. I have a hip hop name. It's called Payroll. PAY $.
We don't talk about this publicly, but we just did.
That's because That's because I get paid.
It
And if
just
you're
happened.
lucky, I'll cut you a check. And so that's where payroll came from.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so
God help us.
yes, God help us. But when you take like rappers, I remember like I think it was Lil Wayne like signed a contract like while he's in jail type thing, like a major deal. Shine recorded part of his album from jail. He's on the phone rapping and recording it. We mixed it in my studio. We mixed that album in my studio. I have a production company on the side, Genius Entertainment, with a business partner, Roger Chi. And we mixed, that album was mixed
And
at our studio.
what was this in like the year 2000? Like how long ago
this
was
is probably, this is a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah, probably about the year 2000, around that time frame. Yeah. But no, it's pretty crazy. But we recently, you had shown me something of Fox News comparing Trump's mugshot to all the not Al Capone. It was compared to Frank Sinatra, Elvis, Kanye West, and MLK. These are people that these are not people,
human rights
activists, and others that probably had like some sort of small citation.
Well, the others were all like thugs,
probably like
thugs and mafia.
No, they're probably like busted for drugs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or doing something stupid. And so not someone who tried to like, initiate an insurrection on our country. This
Yet to be
different.
proven.
Yeah.
Yet to be proven.
Yet to be proven, 100%. But still comparing Trump to them and then saying, he can't
even talk about his weight, honestly.
Well, they actually he lied about his weight, obviously, because he's definitely not too. If you look at how much I weigh, and I'm not too far off from 215, I'm like a solid 20 pounds lighter, but I'm still 6 feet, and I look a lot different than President Trump.
Yeah, you're all muscle.
Ex-President Trump. Yeah. So. Yes.
Yeah. So we've got that happening, and so my theory, alongside with the whole propaganda is going to ruin our country, is that I think we need to make some changes. Mm-hmm. I think elected officials should also have built into their kind of whatever contract, whatever paperwork these people get when they become an elected official.
When they're sworn in.
It should say, an at-will employee of the state.
Like, take the Bible and add a page. You are an at-will employee.
Yes, because if we could be let go for like the tiniest reason for like picking our nose in public while being seen as representing the brand, then why can't these clowns be let go?
Well, part of the problem with that
Sanchez guy or whatever.
He should be gone just for the pure fact that he completely lied. He won an election based off of.
By the way, they don't do background checks when you especially the industry
that we're in. There's drug tests, there's background checks, like everything before you can get a job.
It's ridiculous.
How is that not done? But then the problem that I have with like taking an elected official and make it at will, then you're going to have what Georgia is trying to do, where they're having a committee to throw out what Fani Willis. You have what George DeSantis just implemented by throwing out like a district attorney and just firing them outright, having that power to do. Then the problem is you're going to have these two parties even fighting even more and just like getting others just tossed out. And there'll be no government left.
Basically, we become a shit show.
Isn't it kind of a shit show right now?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's become a shit show.
It's become a shit show. It's actually become a reality TV show.
It's become embarrassing.
You've left me speechless on that one. I don't know. I do not have another word to describe our current government situation.
We need
other than
our
embarrassing.
smart, brave souls of the American public and community to step up.
Yeah.
So the clowns can be taken out.
You want what needs to happen is if with Biden running against Trump, we need Michelle Obama to be his VP.
You keep asking Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama, you got to become Biden's VP. Totally.
Well, speaking of like country gone mad, crazy politicians, definitely
because that's a winning ticket.
I thought it would be a little fun for us to compare notes on. At least I think I remember a few from growing up to even recently. Of why do people who amass and attain success, something clicks in them, in their brain, where they kind of go crazy. Or it's like celebrities gone mad.
Yeah, or they were just always crazy. And it just, all of a sudden...
Like, it was festering.
And then once they hit a certain point in life, they there was a certain catalyst that triggered it.
We need our brother-in-law on the show. Like
Oh yeah,
this
brother needs
piece
to be here. Yeah,
to help explain the
yes.
psychiatrist's
Yeah,
view.
that's true. And if anyone has any interest in going for any form of therapy, he has a business called Elevate Psychiatry, excuse me, located in the Miami region, where he has a couple of offices where you can get treatment.
But he also does Zoom.
He also does Zoom, so he can treat you everywhere.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But I just think it's really interesting what's been happening in the news lately. Like there's Lizzo with the weird accusations coming out from her
there are
former
more than
employees.
6, I think, people that are like more than 6 people.
But some of them seem
suing
weird.
her.
Like she clearly is,
That was sexual harassment, right?
Like there was sexual harassment, but there was also like fat shaming, apparently. And that
She was fat shaming people?
Yeah, and that seems odd because she's like, I'm someone
How's
who
that
struggled with
possible?
my own weight,
Yeah.
like, and I decided to embrace it. Like, why would I do that?
Yep.
So some of it just seems like a little bit off kilter, and I'm not jury, judge, or decision maker here.
But then what was that one of the famous therapists out there? I forget her name now. That was criticized because they were saying that she was fat shaming Lizzo when kind of Lizzo first kind of broke through, and she's like, "Great, we're celebrating an obese person, so we're basically telling people it's okay to have diabetes."
Oh,
She was fat shamed. I forget her name now.
oh,
I don't remember
know
her
who
name.
that is.
Yeah,
might
was it
have to
Jillian
look-
Michaels? Is there a Jillian Michaels maybe
Isn't
out
she
there?
a workout person?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, one of the
Oh,
famous workout people. Yeah,
You
yeah.
just made it sound like it was a therapist.
No, I didn't say a therapist. No, I didn't say a therapist.
Oh, Greg, I thought you were making up stuff again.
No, I never make up anything.
I thought you were trumping on me.
No, trumping? Whoa. What, do you want to play some setback? Or pitch? People know it as pitch. You have the trump card, bam, that comes down.
Yes.
Has nothing to do with Trump. It's just.
Oh, I was card gaming.
You're card gaming.
Not that Trump.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
kind of interesting how his last name is
Damn it,
happens
we
to
can't
be.
even use that word
Can't even
anymore.
use that word anymore.
Jeez, he's ruined a word for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Cardi B did something weird recently.
What did Cardi? Oh, yes. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was like, oh my God, it's terrible. Someone threw something at Cardi B. Poor thing.
Yeah.
And it turned out like you surmised that, I don't know, there's something off about this.
Yeah, why would someone just be randomly throwing something? Granted, like back in the day when you had performers back in like the Renaissance era, people used to throw fruit and vegetables at the actors, right? Just kind of something that used to happen.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering, why is someone just there all of a sudden throwing something at Cardi B, and then she takes her microphone, wireless microphone, and just like throws it right back at him. And I think he or she filed charges, whoever it was.
It was because she wanted them to throw water at her.
So then I was curious about that. Then we read about it, that apparently it was so hot that she was asking the audience to throw water at her.
But did he accidentally throw his bottle at her?
No, it was like a big gulpy plastic cup, and like whoosh, you could see it. And he threw, I don't know what substance was in there, but regardless, she asked to be doused, apparently.
These people just want like a Bollywood rain scene,
Maybe.
you know?
But the problem, like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah. They want like all right, I'm done Bollywooding.
Yes.
That
We
was
went there. We did that.
That just happened.
Yeah.
And that'll probably be removed from this.
Why would we remove that from the pod?
Because
That was awesome.
I don't think I ever want to hear that again.
Why not? I do. We watch Bollywood movies
I'm
with the
sorry.
kids.
I have more crazy people stories.
What are other crazy people
So I like
stories?
kind of enjoy this is why I should not go on TikTok.
Why? Oh,
Because
tick-tock on the clock.
No, I go on TikTok and I get served these
oh.
weird stories. Like they're so
Oh.
wacko. Why was Britney Spears dancing like it looked like seemingly for 5 days straight in doing pirouette turns?
You want to know why? Britney Spears
with toilet paper.
with toilet paper.
With toilet paper.
Because it flows. It flows.
her hand.
She didn't have any tissue paper. She didn't have a handkerchief.
She was like holding
her.
on to this with dear life.
She had an idea
And just
while she
spinning
was in the
around.
bathroom, coming up with ideas, and she went up and like, I'm going to dance and film myself dancing. Well, if you think about it, she's just still so excited about like not being under her father's control, I guess, anymore. What do they call that again? They call that what was the legal term for that? I forget what it was called even now.
Sounds like in-house arrest to me.
Yeah, it wasn't in-house arrest. It was I forget what they call that. Do you remember what they call that?
The word is gone.
Yeah, the word's gone.
Spent too much time
thinking
thinking
about it.
So I can't even remember the word.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. So I think she was so super. Well, think about it. Once she was like out of that police custody where she couldn't even spend her own money.
Guardianship? It was like some weird.
It was worse
thing.
than guardianship. I forget exactly what the legal term is for it right at this moment in time. But she's probably just so elated that she just started. Remember at the time she was posting nude pictures of herself and just doing her things.
This has been a year now.
Yeah.
And now she also
she's still
parted
celebrating
ways with the new guy.
Yeah, she did part ways, right?
Nice.
Yeah. I thought she was pregnant again.
No, and then she was dancing with toilet paper after they broke up. So I have no idea what's happening.
Who knows? Britney Spears. You need to go to Elevate. So yeah, and who else is on that list?
So I'm a little disappointed by the current individual because I was the biggest fan of hers forever, and so this was a little sad for me. Apparently, J-Lo has turned into a bit of a weirdo.
So I've heard about some interesting stories about J-Lo, some of them from you and others that I've read.
Probably from me because I follow all of her stuff.
So for someone who's had some great success, did I hear that she's extremely cheap when it comes to taking people who help her?
Yeah.
And she actually takes back tips that Ben Affleck actually gave to people?
Yeah. I mean, J-Lo, if this is not true, you should definitely
correct the scenario.
Situation,
but what we're hearing is that Ben Affleck will give a nice tip,
so sad.
and then you go and you actually take portions of that tip back. That's pretty cheap.
He gave you 20, I'll take back 15.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. And if you're on the receiving end of that tip, when she comes to take that 15 back, it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're probably intimidated of her.
Why?
Because she's a superstar.
What's she gonna do? Get down and start throwing some blows?
I mean, unfortunately, there are levels in society, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a minion to someone, to many. Mm. You just cowtail.
Yeah, go make some food and clean the kitchen.
That's
clean the bathrooms when you're done.
I already did that.
Okay, good. It's about time.
Stupid shit.
Why you call me stupid shit?
Because you just told
That's not how you treat your superiors.
You know what? This is not Indian
That's
household.
insubordination. This is insubordination.
Shut up, you stupid. So
yes.
Yeah, more crazy people. This one I'm really appalled by.
Yes, which one?
And I just don't understand how this is possible.
Okay. Who is it?
The American Apparel CEO, that dude from Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about this.
He likes to just display his ding dong
yeah,
all the time. He is crazy.
So I have a question. Did he used to do that before the show Succession, or did that happen after Succession? And you know why I'm asking.
Why?
Didn't the son used to send dick pics to the CFO?
In the show?
In the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, did he start doing that before that show or after that show? And did he learn from that show that he should start doing
years.
it? For years.
Ago. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's this
you could send him a text and he'll send it back to you?
Brooklyn guy. He would show up at parties and just
be hanging out?
And with all due respect, I mean, the male genitalia is just not, it's not aesthetic.
What are you talking about?
Women, tell me. How many of you actually think a hairy ding dong is aesthetic?
One, it doesn't have to be hairy. And number two,
this
dudes,
dude was.
Yeah, his might have been.
Caveman bush.
I think if the world were to see mine, which I'm not going to show you, you'd say that is like a Da Vinci, a piece of art. When people think of David, come on now.
What are you going to be like when you go crazy? I'm
I've already, what are you talking about? I'm loony as they come.
That explains everything.
So talking about that, what about other people that have just gone crazy? Russell Crowe, what happened to him? He went crazy too,
what
right?
What did he do again?
I forget. He was.
Did he stop being hot? Is that what the crazy part is?
Well, no, but I remember isn't there issues in Hollywood?
He was mean?
He was mean. Then you have Mel Gibson, who was
Well, he became like
this anti-Semite, right?
Yeah,
of sorts.
like
of
that,
just,
he's just wrong.
So, he was just wrong. Just maybe that's
Which is so
and
sad
that maybe
for
that's
such a talented
yeah
movie creator,
actor
and
and director, writer, yeah. And so you have just people that just end up going just sort of crazy.
I think the best one out of all of these is Winona Ryder.
Oh.
She's the cutest. Like, if she came into my shop to like just steal because she has been like famous since she was like a kid and shit happens and she got a little and she's like, I'm really gonna steal this like clip right here and take it. I'll be like, oh, it's Winona Ryder.
It's Winona. Just
it's okay.
It's okay. But that clip happened to be $5,000. Yeah, what's up with that? Just so has she just become bored that she just like started stealing?
I think it was the excitement of it.
It's like the excitement of stealing.
What do they call them? Kleptomaniacs?
Yeah, kleptomaniac. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that movie, The Big Bounce. You know, there's actually it was remade. There was an original version, I think, from the '60s, then a remake back in the 10, 20 years ago with Owen Wilson. I think it was Owen Wilson. Yeah. And so like with the female that's in that movie, it's all about like petty thief. Like activity because it's like there's excitement behind it. So maybe that's part of it. I have no idea what went on there, but she definitely did not need to go into stores and start thefting.
Well, or you could be like crazy like a billionaire.
Yeah.
AKA Elon Musk, and you just decide to randomly change the blue bird into an X.
Well, he bought the company outright. He has every, reason to do whatever he wants to do to it. He can do whatever he wants.
He's got his own crazy. Like he names his kids codes for like astronaut, like physics codes.
That's all right. Maybe he's already speaking with aliens and he's just speaking a different language that we just do not comprehend quite yet.
Why are you defending Elon Musk?
I'm not defending him. I'm allowing him to do whatever he wants to do.
You were weird.
Why am I weird?
That's like not normal.
If I bought Twitter, you could do outright with my own cash. Granted, I think JP Morgan, whoever went in with him, but if he's a primary owner, he can do whatever he wants to do to the organization.
No, they loaned him money.
Yeah, they loaned him money. But still, if he's like, he even was in an interview, I was like, I don't care about the advertising. He just doesn't care because I think he's looking at it as the value is in the size of the database and he can turn that into whatever he wants to turn it into because the database is there. And the amount of information that is there, not only the people, but the data and information that has been collected
Shut up,
there.
You ex-lover.
I'm not an ex-lover.
Ex-lover.
Well, who doesn't like a nice XXX movie?
No, that's different. This is not that type of ex.
Talking about X, whatever happens to when we're like searching through
yours?
Ba-doom, boom. No, X. No, I was reading about again networks that have made bad decisions recently. And one of the bad decisions that people are calling out HBO on is the fact that they removed their name from HBO Max. Where HBO spent years building up this brand of producing
because they want to be Skinamax.
But the problem is Skinamax isn't Skinamax anymore. So they built their brand creating high quality content. Then they created an app which became then HBO Max, and then they removed the HBO from it, and now it's just Max. But the thing is, Max doesn't even live up to its original content format, which is after 9, basically like soft porn as they called it, Skinamax, right? It's not even on. There's like no sexy TV shows anymore. There's very few. I don't even think I can name any sexy TV shows or movies that are on these cable networks anymore.
This goes back to the political discord that is occurring in our country. And I think it's also touching the creation of content because I think content is being led by political platforms and it's starting to impact like what we can or can't watch. Like you have to go to Europe or watch foreign films to see real proper adult films.
If you go to Europe, I haven't been there in a little while because of the pandemic. But I remember going there and just like after business meetings, going back to the hotel.
We went to Portugal last year.
No. Well, we were in Portugal, but I'm talking about England specifically.
That's Europe.
England. That is true. We were there recently.
Sorry.
I'm talking about England on business. Like after like a day in the office or meetings, you go back and like you're just kind of unwinding, watching TV while like getting other work done. And you just put on the TV, and I think they had basically topless dating. They had like. Yeah, it was a TV show with people that were just topless,
so
male
Greg is
and
saying
female.
He's going to move to England.
So where it's a little more free. But the CEO.
A little more free.
So a gentleman by the name of Bob Jameson used to be chairman over at BMG, and he was the CEO over at RCA Records prior. And we were sitting down one day, and I remember this vividly because it was just so true. And he said the worst really thing a creative company can do is go public, because once you go public and you're a creative company, you're now not creating.
You lose creative control.
Yes, correct. You're not now creating for best creative. You're now creating for purely what sells based upon, market share, how your stock price is doing.
EBITDA,
so it actually impedes. In theory, it can impede the type of creative that you're putting out into the marketplace. Now you're beholden to stockholders and what consensus wants and an increased stock price. So it unfortunately stifles creativity, and I think that's probably what's happened quite a bit. So that's your theory
behind HBO Max?
I don't know if that's my theory behind HBO Max. I just think that's my theory behind a lot of contrived creative that's out in the marketplace, because it's not about, well, think about it. If you remember over the last several years,
I think that
there's been a lot of remakes in movies, because a lot of people are scared to invest in new projects. They want to reinvent
but Greg,
what's
like
been
when
old
we
because
watch
it's been
like
proven
an
and tried.
80s or 90s movie and it says it was rated R for adults.
Yes.
There was tasteful amount of whatever, adult nudity, whatever, cursing and stuff in it.
Yep.
And then it went to like another extreme where like a lot of stuff was like vulgar in like the 2000s.
Yes.
I'm talking about like the beer fest, like idiotic movies, like, There's like, now we've come to like, I think another extreme, at least that I'm seeing in content creation, where it's like radically neutral, even abstaining from really depicting something that's truly about intimacy and an emotional connection.
Unless it's like unless it's a Judd Apatow movie, which just shows full frontal everything.
But that's like another extreme. And it's always done in like I would say a vulgarish fashion, but nothing that's like marrying the balance between all these different elements. Yeah. And I don't think we could ignore that there's a lot of there's like this prudish element in the U.S. Like when I speak to my friends who are from
old
Europe,
school Christian beliefs, right?
Well, but when I speak to friends who are from like Europe and or like they've been here for like a decade or two, and they'll often say like, you guys are like scared of the truth of like the transparency, and they're very like open in the other markets, and it's so interesting to me because I think, how do we marry all those perspectives and still have something that could serve the different type of people that want to be served the different types of content?
Yeah, totally.
Like, not everybody wants to go see porn to get that. You want to see like a lovely story about
that movie
something
Love,
and see it integrated in a part of the story. Correct. But that's a French movie.
It's a French movie,
and you don't get that.
And it sits on the line between. Because there's real sexual activity taking place, it sits on the line between like some argue that's porn and others argue that it's not because it's actual love story and it's depicting a real love story and people are method acting essentially. And so, there's the country is definitely, I feel, compared to what used to be on TV, to a degree, has become a little more reserved, at least on all the different apps that we have.
I think like Bollywood movies have become more forward.
Bollywood,
we were even
if you look at Bollywood movies, there's always a sensual, sexy element, right?
Right.
Like Bollywood movies are sexy.
We never
They're just
had
over the top
kissing scenes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it was still like
there's a little bit of a cheesy element to like how they depicted
cheese,
it,
right?
Yeah.
But like now there's like
it's over the top.
Even your daughter was like saying the other day, she was like, why are they saying the F word so much in the Indian movie? And I'm like, because they're really trying hard to sound modern. Like, I have no idea. Like, I don't need to hear the F word like every other sentence in a film.
Yes.
But, I think they've improved in exhibiting intimacy and loving and being connected as humans.
Yep.
And I don't know. Who knows when we're going to see new content because the writers are on strike till next year.
That is true
now.
with the writers on strike and obviously actors backing them up. But talking about Indian movies, one thing I think Bollywood movies need to remove from their movies are some of the sound effects that they do that make it cheesy, like the viper slap or the doing.
Greg,
like they add all these like little sound effects that just make it clowny.
No, that was in a movie from 1980 89.
Multiple movies have
No,
that.
the sound effects that
Multiple
you
movies
just described
are
in
in
Bazigar.
several-
And that is freaking
not just that movie.
old. That's like 1990.
Multiple movies.
No, the
They're
new
TV
one?
shows. The TV shows have it all as well.
shows are cheesy.
Just about every TV show has
No,
it.
but come on.
And a
Like,
lot of the Bollywood movies
come on.
have that.
You didn't say that about Padmaveet, or you didn't say
Padmaveet
that.
is a little different because they didn't have that type of sound back during
you
a
didn't say
Middle
that
Eastern
about
/ Indian
Bajrao-
war.
Bajrao Mastani. You didn't
a few
say
centuries
that,
ago.
You didn't say that about Patan the other day.
Yeah, but those are
Yeah.
You mentioned.
So
you're mentioning three
don't
out of like
mention
the
a movie
hundreds,
from
thousands of movies.
1990.
You know how many movies we've seen and they have all these like little boing.
Or Dur. Like, that's old.
Dur.
That's from
Dur,
1993.
I think Dur had like a boing.
Yeah, it's
He's like, oh.
1993.
So it's like, but you just proved to yourself that the movies do
Listen.
have them in them.
Yeah, old ones.
I'm gonna start like adding
ones-
like when you speak, not when
My
I speak.
Bollywood watching friends.
I'm gonna start.
help
No, this is what
support
we're
me
gonna
on
do.
this.
When you speak, since you're the Indian one here, when you speak, I'm gonna start adding these little sound effects to everything.
Go ahead,
Oh yeah. Okay, start speaking.
Greg.
Yes, Kirti.
As the man chased me down the street. You shut up. Yeah, that's. I get your point.
Yes, you got my point now. Wait, just wait. Keep going.
No.
Yeah. Oh no, keep going. Keep going. What's the story?
What is this? A variety show?
Yeah, it is now. Ready? What's the story?
The man walked into the room. He scanned the room. He didn't see her. He walked in towards the balcony. He saw her silk flowing in the wind. He thought he would find her. But she was gone. She was gone. The story ended. The story ended. Ah! All right. You made your point.
I was correct.
Now you can beat something else.
Ooh, like what?